CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight in South London, where residents are voicing concerns over a developer's plan for their neighborhood. They say several townhomes are slated for demolition and they'll soon face eviction. Lauren Stallone reports.
I asked if they were tearing down my home. They said no, but their eyes said yes.
One Berkshire Village tenant is voicing his concerns regarding a redevelopment plan by Sifton Properties.
I was given a letter and two representatives at my door. They were telling me that there were redevelopments happening within the area, but could not give me any sort of information on what those developments were.
Alex Verrett, who has lived in the area for close to 6 years, says he first got the idea his neighborhood was changing 6 months ago.
On Google Street Maps, my house was blurred out completely. They were removing trees within the area.
Sifton held a meeting at the Berkshire Club Hall Wednesday evening. Now I'm standing out here on the sidewalk because I was denied entry into the public meeting, and when I asked Sifton representatives for an interview, they declined. Verrett, who was inside the meeting, told me Sifton announced a site demolition is slated to begin in spring of next year.
There are approximately 5 strips of townhouses that are going to be removed. There's going to be a single apartment building where I am located now, 1 across from me, and then 5 in the back of the area where that field is.
He says the developer could not guarantee each resident would have a new home following the demolition.
They're basically trying to justify that these 40 houses and or families that they are destroying are going to be justified by housing that many more people will be able to move into, despite it being much higher in rent.
Other residents who didn't wish to be on camera told CTV News they were turned away at the door by Sifton representatives, saying the room was at capacity. Verrett says tenants aren't on board with the changes, but he doesn't believe their concerns will make a difference.
We will definitely be getting evicted. There's no might, it is happening.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
At City Hall, a new plan was unveiled today for revitalizing London's downtown. It could require as much as $50 million over the next decade, but there may be an even bigger decision looming when it comes to a potential replacement for City Hall itself. With more, here's Daryl Newcomb.
London's proposed downtown plan aims to strengthen and revitalize the city's core over the next 10 years. It's an action plan with 58 components focused on housing, livability, economic development, and downtown activation. That to-do list that could total $48 million would require City Hall to realign existing budgets and fund business cases in the next multi-year budget.
What we're trying to do and what this plan speaks to is kind of using downtown as a mixed-use community. It's not just an office space or a working space as itself. It's also a neighborhood.
Mayor Josh Morgan recently led a call by the mayors of Canada's largest cities for downtown investments to become part of the federal government's nation-building projects.
So we're going to need a really bold vision to actually allow our downtown to achieve its potential and match the ambition that the mayors across this country have for our downtowns as economic drivers, as places of centers of culture, as places where it's our calling card to the world.
Not detailed in this plan, but certainly a major decision for the future of downtown London is where council will decide to build a new city hall, as the current 55-year-old building is facing increasing repair and maintenance costs.
We know there's great potential both on this site and in our downtown core to find something that works. I can't tell you what that is today because I think we've got to think about this holistically in combination with our entire strategy on the downtown.
A very well-placed area, maybe even leveraging some natural heritage aspects that downtown has, and some historical appropriate places that it can be, can really ground us in our identity and who we are.
A council committee will consider the new downtown plan on June 16th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The former London Transit Commission chair is the latest contender for a city council seat in this fall's municipal election.
What I saw, especially during my tenure at LTC, is that these are not issues that a singular person, a singular entity, a singular councillor or level of government can tackle, which means one of the primary things that we need to do much better at is being cooperative and collaborative.
Stephanie Marentet is the 61st person registered as a city council candidate running in Ward 6, facing incumbent Sam Trosso and candidates Ian Sterling Leishman and Naomi Nadia. We are about a third of the way into the nomination period now, with the deadline to register set for August 21st. London police say they're investigating an incident that resulted in a partial evacuation of Masonville Mall this afternoon. They say 2 employees sustained minor injuries after an undisclosed substance was deployed inside a store around 1:30 p.m. According to police, the suspects stole multiple items before getting away.
I was working, 2 teenagers about ages, I want to say around 14-ish, 13, went into the Champs, were doing whatever. I didn't see what happened. I only heard the commotion, and I saw the 2 of them run out with a bunch of stuff in hand and then run down about that way towards the shoppers and leave before everyone started coughing around the area.
Provincial police are reporting another stolen pride flag from a Thames Valley District public school, the second instance this week. With more on the investigation, this time in Glencoe, here's Brian Bicknell.
A Canada flag and a pride flag sway in the breeze on the front wall of Echo Central Public School in Glencoe. They were erected Wednesday, replacement flags, after a suspect or suspects allegedly yanked the school flagpole from the ground, taking both the Canada and Pride flag with them. The chair of Strathroy Pride says it's disappointing.
It's sad. It's sad to hear that these things are still happening.
According to the OPP, a person or persons came onto the school property this past Saturday around 2 in the morning, knocked over the pole before leaving with the pole and the flags.
People that are against Pride events and are against the Pride community, they're loud, but they're also in small numbers. So you kind of need to balance that with larger numbers. You know, we have tried to extend some of our events past Strathroy, and it hasn't always gone very well.
It's the second time this week it's happened at a Thames Valley public school. Oxford OPP is investigating after a pride flag was stolen and flagpole cut down at Emily Stowe Public School in Norwich on the weekend. The second pride-related incident reported at that school this month. On June 1st, the pride flag was cut down and burned. The Thames Valley District School Board said it didn't have anyone to speak to the incident in Glencoe. It issued a statement saying, in part, the board stands in solidarity with 2SL LGBTQIA+ community against homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia. We remain firmly committed to promoting equity, inclusion, and the safety of all students in our schools. Frank Emanuel, a Thames Valley teacher himself, says the school board has gone to great lengths to foster inclusion.
But I truly believe they've done it right in terms of equity and inclusion and educating teachers, not just teachers, but making sure we also have materials in our schools to support this as well.
Pride flags are being flown at all Thames Valley schools and workplaces during the month of June, which is Pride Month. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Glencoe.
A pathology report was presented today at the murder trial in St. Thomas. It highlighted the injuries suffered by a 22-year-old woman who was killed 3 years ago. With more, here's Nick Paparella.
Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Schrum examined the body of 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings the day after her body was removed from this home at 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London on July 5th of 2023. Hours after her lifeless body was discovered, police arrested her one-time boyfriend, 53-year-old David Yates. As he testified, the doctor told the court about the extensive injuries the victim suffered, with an estimated 200 wounds. He spoke about large cuts found on her head, saying some of the lacerations or tears to the skull are semicircle. They could be caused by a hammer. Then a photograph of her face is shown, and he says you can see pretty extensive bruising and dark red areas around her eyes and cheeks. He adds, on the left cheek there is a laceration. It goes through to inside the mouth. He said besides broken bones to a forearm and hand that may have been defensive, there is a fracture to the lower jaw, and there are 2 other fractures. And when a photo of her back is shown, he says, you see multiple abrasions or scrapes. A number appears semicircular. I think there are 50 to 55. Yates is charged with second-degree murder in this case and has pled not guilty. Each time the images of Caitlin's badly beaten body are shown inside the courtroom, spectators are warned that they are graphic and disturbing. When referring to some of the wounds, Dr. Shrum said the person was still alive. The heart was still beating when those injuries were sustained. After a full examination of Caitlin's body was conducted, the doctor filed a report and concluded that multiple blunt force trauma injuries caused her death. The Crown's case against Yates continues. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Officials with Children's Health Foundation here in London are expanding a program designed to help healthcare teams across the province prepare for critical medical emergencies. With more, here's Rita Ismail.
It cries like a toddler, mimics breathing, and even has a pulse. This high-tech simulator is helping doctors and nurses prepare for some of the most critical pediatric emergencies.
Looks like his oxygen's responded to our intervention.
The simulators are used through the Pediatric Regional Outreach Program, or PROP. The training is brought directly to community hospitals across Ontario.
I always like to use the aviation or pilot example, right? So pilots always do simulation training for those rare events where, there's going to be an emergency. And of course, when we get on a plane, we take comfort in knowing that they are prepared. And so we're providing the same thing for care providers.
In smaller communities like Woodstock, critically ill children are rarely seen, but when those cases do happen, staff say they need to be ready.
It would be a rare, we call like a high acuity, low opportunity event to have a really sick kid. And so the best way for us to be comfortable with this is rehearsal. And PROP has the ability to bring that rehearsal to us so that we can get the muscle memory and the comfort.
Beyond the clinical skills, the simulations focus on how teams communicate and respond under pressure.
Really what it's about is learning the teamwork and the crisis resource management skills. That's really where a lot of this work is focused.
The program aims to reach 33 hospitals across Ontario and train more than 1,100 healthcare professionals, all at no cost to participating hospitals. For frontline teams, the training provides confidence in situations that are both medically and emotionally challenging.
This simulation helps us to get that extra layer of comfort, so that we can manage this really challenging cognitive event, this really challenging, medical event and challenging emotional event, and be professionals and deliver good care.
The simulators and training are funded through donor support from Children's Health Foundation. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A new full-service hangar is operational at London's airport, described as a new standard for private aviation. With more on the facility and its targeted clientele, here's Jerry Dewan.
It's unlike any other hangar at the London International Airport.
Airport traditionally has never had a facility of this caliber to house larger corporate aircraft.
Fiset CEO Nick Erb says there was a need to offer services that suit an international clientele, including the growing number of European companies with operations in London, like Italy-based pasta company Andriani and German-based pizza maker Dr. Oetker.
We've got now a full facility for these corporations to be able to come in. Before, they were never comfortable coming into London and staying.
Erb says the 35,000 square foot hangar has already hosted a Gulfstream G500 corporate jet.
General Dynamics bring in their corporate aircraft from head office, and they stayed overnight, which they've never been able to do.
Erb says they tried to think of everything. Along with being able to service the aircraft, there's office space, meeting rooms for catered functions, and a bistro for flight crews. The hangar has also allowed FlyExcite to expand its own charter business, recently acquiring a helicopter that can quickly get people to meetings or public functions.
Aviation is all about the stigma of it, so the high-class flying. It really isn't true. It's a time-saving for corporations to be able to conduct their business in a shorter amount of time, freeing up executive time for other projects.
The new FlyExcite facility has been open for about a month now, but will have its official grand opening on August 21st at the beginning of the London Air Show. They'll take in the opening of the air show from a second-level deck overlooking the airport. Herb says the new hangar wouldn't have been possible without the foresight of the team at the London International Airport. They have provided service lands just 100 feet from the airstrip. He says Fiset built the new facility while keeping an option open for a possible expansion.
When we first completed this, we thought, oh boy, we might be a few years ahead of our time, and it would take a while before we consider doing phase 2. But we're finding more and more our facility is starting to fill up more quickly than expected.
Herb believes that as the region continues to grow and attract businesses like the PowerCo Gigafactory, the need for corporate travel will also grow. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Still to come, shepherding the flock, the pitch from Huron County farmers to pursue a career in the proverbial pasture. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the basic materials sector. The TSX fell 260 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 953. The Nasdaq lost 509. The Canadian dollar gained almost 1/10 cent today. On commodity markets, gold is down more than $150 an ounce. Oil added $1.83 a barrel. Bank of Canada officials held their key interest rate at 2.25% today, while the bank's governor says Canada is not in a clear recession.
Based on the data we've seen to date, the economy is weak, but it is not clearly in recession.
The bank's governor says there's been a lot of volatility and the economy hasn't really grown in the last year, but it hasn't shrunk either. The term technical recession has dominated political debate in Ottawa, with the Liberals downplaying it and the opposition Conservatives branding it a liberal recession. A signal from President Donald Trump today saying a trade deal renewal with Canada seems unlikely. He says the U.S. doesn't need anything Canada has, just as the Prime Minister was briefing Canada's premiers on how trade talks are progressing. With the latest, here's Abigail Beeman.
Well, I'm not looking to renew it.
Donald Trump muses he's not interested in renewing the North American Free Trade Pact as Canada pushes for a full 16-year extension.
I don't know that I'm going to renew it because, to be honest with you, the United States does much better. Hey, we don't need anything that Canada has.
This on the heels of Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc's trip to Washington to meet counterpart Jamieson Greer.
I'm eternally optimistic, Abigail.
And Ontario Premier Doug Ford's attempt at a D.C. charm offensive with business leaders and lawmakers.
They rolled out the red carpet for us. They treat us so well.
But one unresolved issue, the future of the Gordie Howe Bridge. Today, the Prime Minister seemed to walk back his claim that it's set to open.
No big drama. If it takes a little longer, it'll take a little longer.
While Ford said he hopes Trump changes his mind, and there's currently only a ribbon cutting on the Canadian side.
Basically, a ribbon cutting. I'll be attending once we actually open the bridge and we're actually driving across.
The Premier hosting Pennsylvania's governor today, who had this to say about Trump's Kuzma talk.
I do not believe that the president is right in suggesting that we don't need each other. I think our economies are linked.
The July 1st deadline now just weeks away, but experts and officials alike trying to calm concerns, saying after that date, Kuzma won't fall apart, and Americans haven't signaled intent to tear it up. The big problem, ongoing uncertainty.
I've met a lot of Democrats and Republicans on my quick visit. Every one of them are saying, we got to get this done. We have to start moving, because when you have uncertainty, investment gets stalled.
No official word from Dominic LeBlanc's office nor the Prime Minister's office. Mark Carney has said a number of times he won't comment every time Trump speaks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. Meet Miss Maddie. She's from Goddard. Thanks so much, Patty, for sharing your photo with our viewers this evening. It's muggy out there. The chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms continue. Temperatures overnight, it'll still feel like the 30s. Waking up tomorrow morning to showers and some thunderstorms, but they'll clear back out and we're into a mix of sun and cloud. Morning temperature, 22 degrees. Stay with us. I'll have details of a cooling front on the way for Friday with the potential for some severe storms.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now. Similar story to last night, actually, it seems, because we've got some thunderstorms rolling through the region. Kind of spread out, though, not guaranteed to see some thunder and lightning for everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing with this type of air mass. People are like, so is it going to rain here? Is it going to rain there? It's really difficult in terms of just watching the radar develop. So we've had some storms rumbling through. We've had some intense heat with heat warnings in effect, with the humidex feeling close to 40 this afternoon. Another scorcher on the way tomorrow. Today in the Forest City, hitting that 30 30-degree mark. 21 degrees our low, so coming in well above normal. But it's really the humidity that has everyone talking. It really is just impressive in terms of the high humidex, feeling close to the mid to upper 30s across southern Ontario today, and it's still muggy out there tonight. So the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue right across the region. We've had some heavy thunderstorms with some torrential downpours in and around the area, so that risk will continue over the next couple of hours. As we head through the overnight, you can still see some rainfall that's making the move through Grey County, southward in and around northern Wellington County as well, and then another round coming through as we head into tomorrow morning. So still the chance for rain, showers, and thunderstorms as we head through the overnight and first thing in the morning, and then we're back into a mix of sun and cloud through the day Thursday. Look at that clearing taking hold. That means temperatures are headed way up, and the humidex, of course, as I mentioned, will be in the upper 30s. This is a cold front, and look at the intensity. This could bring some severe weather into Michigan, so keeping a close eye on that Thursday evening. But watch what happens. As the front comes into southern Ontario, it starts to fall apart. Now, we will be keeping a close eye on this boundary as it comes in. The timing for us is great news because it's going to come through as we head through the overnight and early in the morning, so that's not peak daytime heating. If this front came through during the day, we would see widespread severe weather. That is not the case, so the timing will come through overnight. It won't have the fuel of the sunshine to work with, and as a result, we still have the chance for showers and thunderstorms with that boundary coming through. It'll bring us a cooler and drier air mass for the weekend, but we won't have to deal with the intensity of that severe weather that I just showed you that's expected to develop in Michigan. Overnight, not a big drop off. This is a normal daytime high for this time of year. So those are overnight lows. So muggy conditions holding. Chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms early in the morning and then back into a mix of sun and cloud. The forecast high 30 with winds out of the southwest. As we head through the next few days, still some showers around Friday morning, but by Friday afternoon, we should be back into a mix of sun and cloud. Now, the cooler and much drier air will arrive Friday night. Temperatures will cool down. The humidity will start to scour that out. And then we're back into some beautiful sunshine on Saturday. Saturday looks picture perfect. Another cold front arrives on Sunday. The timing on this, I'm not quite sure yet, but we do have the chance for rain, probability on the lower end at 40%. That will bring a cool, comfortable air mass to kick off the week. Daytime highs anywhere from 21 to 25 degrees early next week. Midwestern Ontario, your forecast heading into tomorrow. Again, showers and thunderstorms out there tonight. Getting under one of these heavy storms, potential for lots of rainfall. There's so much moisture out there to work with. Chance of showers on Friday, lots of sunshine in the forecast on Saturday. Another cool down coming as we head into next week. So you only have to deal with the heat and humidity over the next couple of days. By Friday, the cold front comes through and temperatures cooling off just in time for the weekend. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. A new program in Huron County is trying to entice more young farmers to raise sheep. As Scott Miller reports, if you order lamb at an Ontario restaurant, there's a good chance it came from somewhere else.
When we process lambs out,
Michael Richards is looking for a whole lot more future farmers to join him in raising sheep in Ontario.
we as producers are only meeting 30 to 35% of the demand. So Ontario Sheep Farmers' new initiative is we want to meet the demand by 50%. We want to grow our industry to 50% of the demand by 2040.
Richards was one of the sheep farmers in Clinton recently, trying to educate nearly 50 students taking the specialist high skills major in agriculture about the advantages of an industry very few Ontarians and very few farmers, for that matter, are aware of.
I've come up from a cattle family, and I find that sheep are easier. They're easier to manage. I can do a lot of it myself with minimum efforts from outside help.
While Huron and Perth counties have a large rural component, most farms are highly specialized, raising one kind of animal or a handful of crops. The specialist high skills major course in agriculture is designed to expand those potential agri-food horizons.
We actually have a group from Goddard that are part of the hospitality and tourism. So they're more focused on the culinary aspect of it today. And so they're looking forward to the session with the chef in the kitchen where they'll get to prepare, it sounds like a high-end meal using the lamb.
Many of the out-of-class agricultural sessions, including ones with horses and beef cattle, have been happening at the Reach Centre in Clinton.
We want
want to bridge that gap that's being created by biosecurity issues, where kids aren't really able to get up and be that close to animals anymore and understand their personality and their traits.
Richards just hopes he can entice one or two of these future farmers to give sheep a shot, because the sky is the limit for an industry that isn't coming close to meeting market demand.
With only meeting 30% of the demand, we're able to keep that ceiling as an endless ceiling of growth.
In Clinton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a big week for London athletes at Provincial High School Championships. With more on the hardware they're bringing home, here's Brent Lale.
The STA girls soccer team has gone back-to-back at OFSA.
It's definitely exciting. I don't think it's really ever been done. We have such a great group of girls, and it was amazing the first time, and it was amazing the second. We lost a lot of grade 12s last year, but we had such a deep bench that it didn't even matter.
The question now, is there a three-peat in the cards?
We're going to have a very young team. I think 8 of us are the grade 12s are going to be leaving, so I don't know. We'll see if we can do it again.
Holy Cross from Strathroy is coming home with gold from single A girls soccer.
Georgian!
To the track and make it 4 straight gold medals in the 800 meter for Medway's Ryan Georgeson.
Ever since grade 9, when I first went off, so it's been a goal to win every year, so felt great. It was a pretty windy day at OFSA, so I decided to just sit with everyone until last 250 and then kick it into gear and try and win.
It was a massive week for Wausau track athletes, bringing home 7 gold medals. Jenna Tunks of Oak Ridge winning the discus and the shot put, helping her senior girls to a team title. Ali Jasinskis of Banting with a gold in the pole vault. Teammate Olivia Folk with first place in the shot put. Zoe Shantz of Woodstock blew away the field in the women's intellectually impaired 100 meter, and Ezekiel Kerr of Clark Road did the same for the boys. Then Noah Matora of STA won gold in discus.
It was amazing, especially my last senior year before going to university. I was pretty nervous going into my discus because I felt like I had a lot to lose, and I went back to just the basics, and I did a normal non-reverse throw, and then it was enough to get me the win, and I'm glad I did it.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.